buying Bitcoin boycotts this system and gives you independence and enrichment. What else? What else should people be thinking about in terms of fighting for the good in this spiritual war?
Yeah, so I don't want to dictate, my personal beliefs, but I do believe we have a creator. And my personal belief is that we are on earth for the afterlife. That's just my personal belief. And so life is a test. And you are faced with challenges. I don't believe those challenges get solved. Like, life is a continual state of challenge after challenge. And I think life is a test for how you react under challenge. Do you go down an evil path? Do you go down a good path? What is your definition of good? Do you look for religious scriptures to define good? I'm not here to preach. I have my own, but, I think when you are tested to the max, and I've done a lot of anti-war activism. It was kind of the reason I got into Bitcoin. Right back in the day, 2011, there was like a podcast called Bitcoin Not Bombs. Like when I went to the first Bitcoin conference, it was a resistance against, it was us versus the banks. We were cypherpunks, we were activists, we were taking on and allowing people to own their own money, and it was a mission of resistance. Personally, I believe that, how you react and how you treat each other. I'd encourage everybody to ask yourself the question, are you tolerant of things? To me, I kind of, for the last 2 years, it's been a massive eye-opener for me because I've been watching the Gaza genocide. And I always said to people, what we allow and tolerate is coming home. And the technology that was used in Gaza, genocide as a service, occupation as a service, surveillance as a service in UK, integration with drones in Ukraine. This is the same technology that was in the Big Beautiful Bill in order to implement border control. These are beta tests. And so we just had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry if this offends, advocated for an ideology that led to the death of many in the Middle East, in Gaza. And he tried to pull away from that ideology in his final weeks. And he had arguments with very powerful people as he was pulling away. And I believe that they took him out because he tried to pull away. Everyone will speculate on that. We'll never get the truth. We'll never get the truth. You'll always be left with speculation. But there is a cost to tolerating crimes against humanity to others and turning a blind eye. And so to me, I believe that we're on this earth in order to see humanity as humanity. And I think we're being tested. And I think the earth is an eternal struggle. And it's a test to find out, did you do good or did you do bad? And once you learn truth, and I've spent the last 25 years unlearning what they learned in my British education. But once you learn truth, do you stick to truth? Or do you tolerate something that you know is unacceptable? And I think that's the test. So I encourage people to say, there's been 20,000 shootings, gun shootings in America this year, but only one of them are we talking about now because he had 8 million followers. At the same time, for 2 years, he advocated for an ideology that's led to the death of hundreds of thousands. We need to question ourselves on what we're tolerating, and are we idol worshipping? Why, what is it that we're doing? And I think people need to ask themselves this question. And the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is that Bitcoin was a blessing for me. it gave me financial independence I never imagined was possible. And I act like it could be taken away at any time if we don't think about what's best for what's collectively good for humanity at the moment. And I know that's a hard question, and everyone will find their thing. But we do need to ask ourselves a question. 20,000 people were killed because, I mean, the proof of weapons network, inflation, drug addiction, homelessness, wealth inequality, all of these exist across the biggest economy in the world. We're fighting with each other. We are being driven to hate each other. The Democrats, the Republicans, the lefties, the LGBTQs, the Zios, the Muslims, the whatever. Like, you pick your poison. They're dividing and conquering us. We have to step above that. We have to really think, whose agenda am I serving by hating this person? And I'm telling you, you're serving the agenda of a surveillance state from the proof of weapons network that profits from manufacturing consent for taking away your human rights and replacing them with a surveillance state and a technocratic 1984 thing. Whichever side you end up on, it is a spiritual battle. And I believe that it's about trying to just take away as many of these divisive narratives that take us down these worst places of human behavior. So it's how we treat each other in the end, and what are we able to tolerate, and what are we not able to tolerate.